From the station that made country music famous, 650 AM WSM, this is a Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast.
Hey, it's Charlie Matos, and in this episode, we sit down with our friend Abby Anderson. New music from Abby. Great having her back on the Opry stage. So much to get caught up with. Enjoy our Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast with Abby Anderson.
Coffee, Country, and Cody.
It is becoming contagious, actually, this whole Texas thing.
Oh, I know.
Because another one just sat down.
They're multiplying.
It's like a disease.
Abby Anderson is sitting where she sat. Recount for me how long ago it's been.
4 years ago.
You made your first radio tour stop.
Yes.
On Coffee, Country, and Cody and WSM Radio, sitting right there.
Yeah, and you spoiled the heck out of me. You know that?
In what way?
Because this is an ideal first introduction into interviews and radio, and you asked me all the best light questions you could have asked me, and so I had to learn from. I mean, this is the radio show, but I had to learn how to navigate harder questions after you.
I think she just called you a softie.
No. Well, Cody's
no.
softy with me. Okay, I think he saw me as poor Abby here. I'll cut her some slack.
And then got to be with you when you debuted at the Grand Ole Opry. Not too long after that. Yeah, you were. You were rolling quickly.
No, you've been with me from day one.
Yeah.
So this is a treat.
Well, I'm just excited to see you again because we ran into each other. You were doing the Music City Grand Prix, and you got to debut one of your new songs. And we were just having so much fun that night.
Oh,
that was a rowdy, crazy crowd.
Yeah.
And you, embraced that. And I said, oh, she likes this.
I like it a little too much. That's my problem.
So I remember in our first meeting, and I was telling her, I said, anybody ever compare you to Tina Turner?
Oh, my
Oh.
gosh.
And what did you say? You remember what you said?
I can't remember
Your
what I
first
said.
concert?
It was my very first concert.
With Tina Turner.
Tina was my very first concert.
And I had no idea when I
Wow.
said that, made that that connection.
Wow.
I'll take it.
For sure.
I know it's not true, but I'll take it.
But I just found that ironic that I would just pick up on that showmanship, if you will, but showwomanship.
Yes. Yeah.
And then for her to say, yeah, it was my first concert.
Yep.
You and your mom, I think you said. She
Yep,
took you.
that's an ideal first concert, first introduction to.
Where'd you see her?
We saw her, oh gosh, I can't remember the venue. I'm sure it was like the American Airlines Center in Dallas.
Oh, okay.
Like the big.
Oh, you
Yeah.
big show.
Oh yeah. It was awesome.
better.
Yeah,
Even
those legs changed my life forever. And I was like 8 years old. And I'm like, what is this? This is
I don't know what she's
amazing.
doing, but I want to do that.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yep.
And you're doing it, girl.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, we're
New
working.
album, new
We're
album.
working. Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
I got to hear you do Juicy.
Oh gosh,
When
yes.
she walked up and she goes, okay. And it was just this sassy, fun, crazy moment. And everybody, it was like it turned up the notch a little bit. Like if
Good.
we were at a 9, that got us to 11 real
Thank you.
quick.
It goes to 11.
It
Is that what
goes
you're
to
saying?
11. Yes.
It goes
yes.
10, but one more.
One more.
11.
Especially with Abby.
Yes.
So give us a little backstory on all the new music and how it all came about.
Oh yeah. Oh man. So I know 2020 stopped the world from spinning and everything, and I want to say this with all the sensitivity in my heart because I know it was a really tough time for everyone. It was a tough time for me, and I think it was the best thing that could have happened for me spiritually, emotionally, just to finally have a moment to sit and think about, okay, what's been working, what hasn't, what do I need to change, who needs to go in my inner circle, and just took a real look at my life and what's bringing me joy and what's not. And so I got back to my roots. I think when you sign a record deal really young and really fast and you're kind of thrown into everything, it's hard to listen to yourself. And so I think 2020 was the moment where I started listening to myself again. And that was a really, really big blessing. So that's where this album started. It was me listening to my intuition again. I sat down at the piano and my little Pisces butt was just pouring out feelings. I had a lot of feelings.
Tell me that was a working title for the album.
My
originally.
Pisces butt, So it was a really big blessing, and it's been the most fun I've ever had making music.
You and my
Yeah.
wife share a birthday, March 10th. by
March
the way.
10th.
Yeah,
It's a
she's
good
Pisces
day.
too? Yeah.
It's a good day.
But you know what? In a business where it truly can be a roller coaster at
Yeah.
times, that mandated shutdown, I can't tell you how many artists we've had. Yeah, I hated it, but it was the best thing on the planet for me, you know? Just
Yeah.
having to spend that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to the Texas theme that's pervaded the show this morning with Katie Offerman on her way. And you guys,
I love her.
You guys had a connection.
I'm such a big fan of her.
She lit up when you said that.
Oh,
when you
my
walked in. That was
gosh,
the first
I'm
thing out of your mouth when you
I
saw
listen
her.
to Happyland Trailer Park almost every day. I love that song. Yeah.
So Katie's from Texas. You're from Dallas. My pick of the week this week, I do a different song each week on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I picked Pat Green's Miles and Miles of You.
Yes.
His first album in 7 years. And so I'm going through the album track by track, credit by credit. And then I see a duet with Miss Thang.
Hello.
Abby Anderson.
How'd that happen?
Yeah, tell me about that.
So Pat is actually good friends with my producer, Marshall Altman. And I grew up listening to Pat. Like, Pat was, you know, it's like Pat Green, George Strait, King of Texas, you
Yeah,
know?
sure.
And so Marshall had texted me and was like, hey, what do you think about doing a song with Pat Green? Like, just a random Wednesday. And I'm like, why did you even ask me? What do you mean? Like, just tell me, like, when I need to be there. Like, it's a dumb question. Okay. So it was awesome. And Pat was very kind to let me. I actually have never met him, but he was kind to just let me hop on a song with him. That was cool.
You have had some amazing collaborations. I mean, I'm thinking about Jimmy Allen.
I
when
love Jimmy.
You and Jimmy together. And then you were out on tour with the frontman from Matchbox 20. And I'm like, Rob Thomas? You're out on tour with Rob Thomas? How did that happen?
Another great question. I have no idea. You know how it happened? I have a really smart people around me, okay? I have a great team around me that made that happen.
Well, and I saw you and Jimmy live on the Opry doing Shallow.
Yeah.
That's the first time
Yes,
I remember
sir.
that connection coming.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, don't tell Garth, but that's my favorite version.
Say that. What? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I said, don't tell Garth and Trisha.
He knows.
But that's
He
my
just
favorite
knows
version.
when people
It's Jimmy
think
and
that,
Abby
by the
doing
way.
Shallow.
You know how he knows? Because much like Katie Offerman's dad,
Mm-hmm.
Don, whom I just met, he used to have me on in the barn when I was at KKYX
Oh,
in
okay.
San Antonio.
No way.
Garth has us on in the barn.
I love you, Garth.
Wait, that's crazy. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
we just made that connection. He said,
That is
"Oh my gosh,
awesome.
it just came to me."
That is awesome.
So
That's hilarious.
I forgot you worked out in San Antonio.
yeah, I was there
Too.
for years. That's where I came here
Yep.
from in 1994.
That's awesome.
Long time ago. Big family. You grew up in a big family. Give people
Yes.
that don't know Abby Anderson, learning about her this morning or more about her this morning. A little about your family.
Oh yeah, so I'm the second oldest of 7, which I'm sure that's where I got my loud voice and need to talk and be seen. Because in a big family, if you don't speak up, you know you're gonna be forgotten. And if you don't eat everything as soon as dinner's put on the table, you're gonna starve. So no, I grew up in a big family. We all played music. We all sang in church together, and all my sisters and I were all over the country doing our own things now. But
How old's the youngest?
he is actually the only boy. He is 13 now. So he's going through, 13-year-old boys, okay? They're
Raised by-
scary.
raised by
Like,
6
I love
sisters?
you, Owen, but like, he's going through a phase. I'm like, what on earth is going on?
Okay, I have a 9-year-old at home, so this actually frightens me for the
Yeah.
next 4 years of my
Yeah.
life.
Well,
Not that the
girls
first
too.
9 have been easy.
I have a
but-
13-year-old girl right now, so yeah.
Yeah.
Extra prayers
Maybe I
appreciated.
forgot what I was like. But I'm like,
Oh.
was I like this? I was like this.
Yeah. Right.
Gosh.
Yes.
But no, he's fun. He's a good time.
Well, we're going to feature Where Did All the Cowboys Go?
Thank you.
Yeah. Tell us where this came from.
Yeah, so actually, Cody, the last time I saw you, I don't even think I was engaged yet. I was what was it, 3 years ago last time I saw you?
Well, we actually ran into each other
Ish.
during
It was CRS, so I was married at the time. Okay.
Yeah, but
so,
it was just very in passing. I was there to do a
Yes.
CMA close-up stage with Craig Morgan
Yes.
during CMA Fest.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was.
Yeah, so ever since golly, I met my now husband in 2018. We dated, and
There's a picture of People
got married.
magazine for
Oh,
people
there we go.
watching.
There we are.
Yeah.
Like again, how did I get there? I don't know. I don't know how I got married. He just saw me and was like, "This poor thing. Let me help you. Let me save you from yourself." So, but
And what's his name?
Tyler.
And
His
where
name
did
is
you
Tyler.
meet?
We actually met in Georgia. So I was on tour. I thought I was gonna flirt, but have fun. I was like gonna have a college years. I was 21. Yeah, I was gonna have fun.
Yeah.
Met him on the first day of tour, and I was like, well, that's it. Okay.
What was it about him? You knew he was the one. Just
He's got this quiet confidence, and might be hard to understand. I know it's really hard to think about this meeting me, but I need someone who's quiet. I think we would have butted heads if he needed as much attention as I need. So. But no, he's got this quiet confidence, and he just wants to be in the woods and fish and be left alone. And sometimes I'm like, why'd you want to get married if you want to be alone the rest of your life? Like, why'd you marry me? Like, I'm not the prime choice for that, okay? But no, he just lets me do my thing, and that's the best part. And I think I always thought, for some reason, that to get married, that'd be settling down, and a guy would want me to stay at home and start having babies. And I met him, and he's like, you go do whatever you want. Like, I'm good. I'll be home. Whatever you want to do. So that's an ideal situation for me.
yes, I'll have one.
Yes.
I'll take one.
Yes, please.
And back to where did all the cowboys go? Set it up for us.
Oh, yeah. So it's about him. So I remember we went out on a first date, and he just kind of raised the caliber for me. We went on a date in Georgia, and I honestly thought I'd never see him again. I was like, well, that was a great date. Probably never going to see him again because I live in Nashville. I'm touring.
Where did he take you?
I was late, so I had gotten in at like 10 p.m. He still picked me up from my hotel and took me to ice cream. We went to Jenny's, and we got some ice cream. And I remember thinking, like, I saw him for the first time, and I'm like, that's the best looking man I've ever seen in my life, like, honestly. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's cute. And anyways, after the date, I was like, man, like, I really, really hope I end up with a guy like him. I remember thinking that. And I just remember thinking, where are all the guys like him? Like, why are they hard to find? I know we got him here in studio, but I just remember thinking that. And what do you know? We ended up together, but he's just a cowboy. Like, he treats me right. He's respectful, he's kind, he's humble. And to me, that's what makes a cowboy.
Abby Anderson. Guys, you have been served. Get your act together. All right? Where did all the cowboys go? You're on WSM Radio, Circle Television.
Call me old-fashioned, nostalgic or naive, but I wanna know what happened to calloused hands and faded jeans. Did they ride off in the sunset, get lost in San Antonio? Can anybody tell me? Does anybody know? Where did all the cowboys go? The kind of man that'll walk you home.
Well, Sugar Spice is in the house this morning. Abby Anderson.
I like that.
That's the title of the new album, too.
What's the merch look like for that?
Oh, it's so cute. I'll send you a picture of it. I'll send you a first look. I'll get y'all a t-shirt.
Sugar Spice is all in my alley.
Charlie, you didn't jump in on it's so cute.
Charlie, it's
I'm on the
so
website
cute.
going to look for the merch.
Abby is playing the Opry Saturday with John Conley, Gary Muleder's there, Eric Pasley, Riders in the Sky, Jeannie Seeley, Don Schlitz, the newest member of the Grand Ole Opry family.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, he still has a new car smell. I mean,
That's
it just,
Yeah, Tuesday.
it just happened Tuesday night. Yeah.
That is awesome.
And some guys I just heard recently, I guess it was on The Message on Sirius XM, contemporary Christian music called We Are Messengers.
Oh, they're great.
They're from Ireland.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I love them.
Yeah.
That's like real country music. What
Yeah.
they have.
Now, you've been over before, right? Have you've done the UK. 'Cause
Yes.
you did C2C, didn't you?
I did.
Okay, so what is it like over there? Because every time I hear this from, I hear similarities in every artist
Yeah.
that goes over. They're like, it's a little terrifying because they're real quiet.
Because they listen.
Right.
And it's like they just love music and they love country music. So, yeah, I thought that was a big deal when I went over there.
You're like, they know my
Yeah.
lyrics. That's amazing.
What's interesting about that is it's the same way with hockey fans. When Nashville, now that we're, how many years are we in? 20, are we at 25?
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah.
Real close.
But when the Predators came to town, this not being a traditional hockey market at all,
Yeah.
and we just built this game night production sort of thing. It was just all these games and all this fun and excitement and loud. And at the least little thing that was going on the ice, the crowd would just cheer and stand. And
We didn't know.
The Canadians went, oh, we don't do this in Toronto.
Right.
You know, it
Yeah.
was like we just sit and they know the game so well. They
Yep.
appreciate the athleticism in the game.
Yeah. Right.
And they don't need all that other stuff. And
Yeah.
they didn't grow up with that other stuff.
But they love coming here.
They did. They were like, this is great. We didn't know we could have this much fun at a hockey game. It's like, listen, you're in the city of music. We know how to have fun.
We just
do.
want to drink and hear ourselves yell.
Well, Abby has a new album out. I said Sugar Spice as we were coming back. And I know that feels good to hear
It
and to
does.
be able to say.
Yeah. I didn't think I'd be able to say that for a while. So it feels really good. Just things always work out how they're supposed to, you know?
Anything memorable come from the making of the album? The places
Oh
that-
man, that's a great question. I mean, the whole experience was memorable. You know, it was the first time I really, we wrote all the songs in like 2 weeks, top to bottom.
Stop it.
I'm dead serious. It was just a really it just felt like a very inspired time. That's the only way I can describe it.
And where were you in this 2 weeks?
Just in my producer's studio.
Okay.
It was just me and him, and we had a revolving door of writers coming in, just all of our favorite people. Just, okay, clock in, clock out. Let's get another one. Let's get another one. We were writing like 3 songs a day, and it was so much fun. So much fun.
Now, often I think of you at the keyboard, but I've seen you
Yes.
do a writer's night with the guitar
With the
too.
guitar, yeah.
Do you write songs on both? And if so, how is a piano-written song different than a guitar-written
Oh, I
song?
love that question.
Yeah.
I've never thought about that. Like before, I think on piano, whenever I have any sort of just need to sit down and write, I always go to the piano. But I hop around, my brain's everywhere, and so I'll get sick of sitting at the piano and get a guitar and then put the guitar back, come back to the piano. So it just depends on the mood, really. But I think my piano songs are better, honestly, because the melodies I get out of that are a little bigger, and yeah.
When did you start playing? How young?
I started playing when I was 5. Yeah, and I was in classical piano lessons, playing Beethoven and all that till I was
You and
18.
Katie Offerman, what's going
Well,
on?
I don't have. Katie went to school. I did not. I'm not formally educated. Okay, so
Well, she was educated in the horse barn, so she'll say, I don't know.
Oh
if that
yeah,
was
no,
for
that
her."
girl can play.
Think about this. Katie Offerman, one day, as she heads to the Opry tomorrow night, and you're there on Saturday, one day she's in the horse barn being homeschooled.
Right.
Then she's in Boston at Berkeley.
At Berkeley
I mean, that's
College.
incredible.
Right.
Like, golly, no, she's got to be a savant or something.
I am.
she's still
I'm right there with
listening.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Katie,
I
yeah.
think she is.
Yeah.
So you talked about how the pandemic, as tough as it was, also gave you a sense of place.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and revealed to you things that maybe you just hadn't stopped long enough to think about.
Mm-hmm.
The first cut on this album is called Insecure.
Yeah, it's a great way to start the album.
It had
Let's
to
just
come
get
out
to
of
it.
Is that where that came from? Thinking
Yeah.
back on what you went through?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think growing up in a big family, I always wanted to be a little people pleaser, make everyone happy, and that doesn't work in real life. It doesn't. Some people don't want to be happy, so there's no making that happy. But no, especially in this business, I think I learned, thankfully, at a young age to listen to myself, and that sometimes you can't make people happy. And that's okay. But at the end of the day, you got to live with, you're the one singing the songs, you're the one wearing what you're wearing, and you got to be happy with what you're doing. So I definitely learned that.
Man.
I had an old coaching friend once who said he was speaking to the quarterback club, and he said, you know, how you get the fans and the moms and the dads and everybody's got an opinion, and trying to make people happy is just impossible. So he said, I'm not in the happiness business.
Yeah.
I tell these moms and dads, I'm not in the happiness business. I tell the fans, the alums, I'm not in the happiness business.
Yeah.
I left that to Oral Roberts and the Salvation Army.
Oh, my. Okay.
Wow.
Is that all right? That's one way to look at it.
Setting those expectations early, aren't we?
Yeah.
You want happy,
There
go
you
there.
go.
You're not going to get it here.
Well, I will say after watching Abby on stage, absolutely in the happiness business, because everybody loved seeing you
Thank
when you were out there
you.
at Music City Grand Prix, and they're going to love watching you at the
Thank
Opry
you.
too.
Well, I feel happy too. Like I'd like to think people can. I don't know. I feel like a new person, you know. So I hope people see my joy for sure, because I do love it.
You said it earlier as my word, joy.
Yeah.
Joy. We had to pick a word. Remember, we had to pick a word
oh,
at
yeah.
the beginning of
Oh,
2020.
yes.
Pick a word
Was that
for the
your
year,
word?
and that was my word. I hang on to it every year.
Yep.
I picked patience. What a wrong
Oh, that's
word.
a terrible word to pick.
2020.
Charlie. Charlie
It's your
predicted
fault.
I
it.
know. What an awful word for 20. By the way, you are on the Opry welcome video that they show every show.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Was it Ranger Doug from Riders in the Sky who introduced you your first time?
Yes.
'Cause you hear him say Abby Anderson.
And I called them the Raiders in which I'm sure.
They've been called worse. They've been
I know,
on their
but on
debut,
my
they-
Opry debut, I was so nervous, and I was like, "The Raiders in the Sky just opened for me. How cool is that?" And I'm sure, hopefully, people will just thought like I just had a thick accent, like the Riders or the Raiders, the Raiders in the Sky.
Well, girl, you are wise and mature beyond your years, and I am so proud to know you. We're going to close with a thing called bad posture. Now, this has to have a backstory.
It does. Oh yeah, no, I wrote this with a dear friend of mine, Anna Voss, incredible songwriter.
Anna.
Yes,
She was the
incredible
Miranda
songwriting
Lambert
talent.
Scholarship winner at Belmont
yeah.
a couple of years
Oh,
back.
like-
I say a couple of years, pre-pandemic, I guess.
Incredible artist, songwriter. And we were catching up one day in my apartment. And we've both been through similar situations as far as finding our footing in town and in the business and what we've learned, and we're catching up. And I just told her, I was like, man, I'm so tired of like feeling responsible for everyone's feelings, for like adults' feelings. Like if someone's mad, it's my fault. You know what I mean? I'm really tired of that. At the same time, we're both slouched over talking about this, and I start laughing, and I'm like, well, aren't we a picture? You know, slouched over like a couple young ladies. And she's like, it's funny you say that. I've had this idea for a song forever called Bad Posture. And as soon as she said that, I got goosebumps. I knew exactly what it was going to be about. And it's just about, freedom. And again, you can't please everybody, and that's okay. You got to protect your own peace.
Just so
That's
you know.
what it's about.
We're going on with the Joy Fest, whether you come along or not.
That's right.
Okay? All
That's
right.
right.
Get on the wagon.
Up to you to find that happy today on 650 AM WSM and Circle Television. I hope you have. Abby, love you. Thanks for coming.
Thank
to
you,
see us.
Cody.
Thanks for listening to our Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast. Our digital program director is Jay Patrick. Our digital producer is Haley Hall. Marketing and promotions director, Nicole A. Judd. General manager of 650 AM WSM is Chris Kulik. I'm Charlie Matos. We'll see you next time on our Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast.